The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys!
This is Cowboys Storyline, presented by Gillette, the official shave of the Dallas Cowboys. Here's Nick Eatman.
What's up? Welcome to Cowboys Storyline, presented by Gillette. It is Friday, December the 12th. You know, I had a conversation with our director of social media, Brittany Johnson, and I said, why don't we make Friday 12-12? I mean, why isn't it just Roger Staubach Day? I mean, it should be 12-12. Roger Staubach's the only 12 really that Cowboys have ever had, ever will have. So, I don't know. I think it should be Roger Staubach. Unofficially, here on the Cowboys Storyline, it is Roger Staubach Day. So if anyone does play the game from yesterday about the whole Mount Rushmore of Cowboy quarterbacks, I mean, obviously, I don't think there will be a group that doesn't have Roger Staubach in it. I don't think that's really the question, whether it's Roger or Troy. I did it yesterday. I think it was Roger, Troy, and Dak and Romo. Those are the four that I picked in there, and I love Danny White. I mean, I love Danny White. That was the guy that when I was a kid, and I didn't really watch Don Meredith. I know he was great, but those are my four. All right. Anyways, 888-855-2297. Last show of the week. We'll get prepared even more for the Vikings. See what to expect from that game. Let's get to the phone lines. Danny in Henderson, Nevada. He's first. What's up?
Morning, Nick. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm a little worried about this game.
Yeah.
I think more than most people. Their defense is a lot better than I thought. I haven't watched a lot of their games, but they're ranked in the top 8 in total defense, 4th in passing. Maybe we can rush on them. They're 22nd in the rush. Mm-hmm. And they're kind of the opposite of us. Like, their offense is 28. So they have kind of a bad offense and a good defense. I hope that Eberflus will rush 5 and maybe keep our cornerbacks closer to the line of scrimmage. Don't give McCarthy too much time to think out there. I think they need to fluster him if they can.
Yeah.
My Mount Rushmore is just like yours: Roger, Aikman, Dak, and Tony. This team's also beaten the Lions and the Bears, and we didn't. So my final score is going to be Cowboys 24, the Vikings 16. And have a good weekend.
All right. You know, they play the Eagles. I mean, I think they did, and they didn't win. So, you know, remember. And who else has been beating them? I haven't looked at their schedule. Usually I have Chris has a printout sheet here that has everybody who they've beaten and stuff like that, which is good this time of year. They've lost to teams. They couldn't score a point against Seattle. They shut out Washington the next week. You know, they're a tough team to gauge. Yeah, they beat the Bears first week of the season. They beat the Lions too. You know, those are divisional games that I'm sure that they know well, and they play just like the Cowboys play. You know, the Eagles probably, you know, this year better than other teams have. So I'm not worried about who's beating who and all that. This looks like a combination of good versus good. You know, offense versus their defense, and bad versus bad. You know, the Cowboys' defense versus their offense. So which one's going to kind of break through and shine on that side of the ball, and which one's going to have the most success over there? So, you know, the Vikings, yeah, I mean, their defense is good. And when we've seen the Cowboys struggle against some aggressive defenses, you know, like when Carolina was one, right up the middle, you know, Cowboys had problems with. So we'll see how the Cowboys monitor that. CeeDee Lamb talked yesterday. Looked like he's gonna play. So that should be good news for the Cowboys offense. All right, Irene, Falls Church, Virginia.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Okay, so first, I got to start by saying today, my dad would have been 83 today, and he's the one who gave me this blessing and curse of a fandom. So I'm sure he's thinking, how did I get so obsessed that I flew across the country and watched them practice and be on a show? But anyway, I have to say that.
All right. That's awesome.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm nervous about this game. See similarities to the Panthers. I just heard what you were talking about. Agree with you. We'll see. I'll have us pulling it off in reverse of that score, 27-24. And then quick question for you. I know that teams do silly things like when we were carrying coaches on stretchers during training camp, but I need to know, since you've been there, has there been anything as silly as the positivity rabbit? All right, that's it. Have a good weekend. Go Cowboys.
The mannequin. That's what I was. Chris, help me out with this one. You remember the mannequin?
I do remember the mannequin.
That was Garrett, right?
There was Garrett. And it would travel.
We brought
every
this thing in a body bag.
Where
it was,
we went.
and it was nameless, faceless opponent, right?
Yes, nameless, faceless
and so
opponent. They would take it everywhere.
They took this thing like out of
coming off the plane. And it looked like because it needs to go to the hotel.
You were like walking the mall, J.C. Penney or something.
Yeah.
You see this guy. It's the mannequin right there.
Mannequin, yeah.
And they had a number 55 jersey on it, and if I remember correctly, and we took this thing everywhere.
Yeah.
So.
Coming off the little thing flat. I mean, come on.
That's the first thing I can think of. So that's the one that goes with me. I don't really know all the things that Irene's even talking about. So just to answer the question though, it's going to be hard to beat the mannequin. But I'll say this about Garrett, man. He did the same thing for 9 years. Same thing. I mean, every day you couldn't be more consistent than Jason Garrett
How you doing, guys?
Right, every time. How are we doing, guys? Same navy blue shirt every day, same haircut for 9-10 years, everything. But
everybody knows the slogan.
Yeah, but he got them playing well. He did. I mean, he got them playing hard. Even when they weren't that good, even when they had quarterback issues, that message got through to those 28, 29, 30-year-old adults until it just wore too thin and it was time for it to move on. But I think Jason Garrett would be a really good coach. I think he'd be a good college coach, especially now that's a little bit more professional than it was. You're dealing with, it's more transactional than it ever was. That message, I think, to younger kids that are still almost adults, I think it could work. I mean, I think for the right place, and I know he's had some opportunities. He's interviewed some places, and almost took the Stanford job, I think. But I think he'd be a good coach. Anyways, but the mannequin, boy, the mannequin was one that was a little different. All right, Elijah in Phoenix, Arizona. Elijah, what's up?
Hey, Nick. Nice to meet you. This is my first time calling, actually.
It is. What's up?
Hey, I'm doing good. It's beautiful out here in Phoenix, Arizona. Nice and sunny.
All right. Well, is it going to be sunny Sunday night when the Cowboys play the Vikings?
Well, I hope so. I hope this is a win for us. Every game we have to take it seriously from now on. I mean, every game's always serious. And just because the Vikings have like a losing record, they're not doing so good. We still got to show our A game. We can't take it easy. And I was just looking at the last time we played the Vikings was maybe like a couple years ago. I didn't realize we dropped a 40-3 burger on them. We won 40-3.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's going to happen this time. But my prediction for this game, I say the Cowboys win 28-20. And I think we just got to watch out for that Vikings defense, man, because they're a pretty good group.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what the status for CeeDee. Hopefully he plays this weekend. And I think that I like Pickens a lot, and I really hope we keep him moving forward. And I just don't like how the media is with him or both of them, because if they have a bad game, they call them like, oh, they're the worst wide receiver duo. And then when they have a good game, they're like, oh, they're the greatest duo. So they flip and flop back and forth on them. But overall, I've been really happy with Pickens, and I hope we keep him going forward to the next year and the years going on forward.
Yeah.
But
all right.
But other than that, I really don't have nothing much. It was a pleasure to call. I never get to call because usually I'm working. And I recently discovered the Cowboy Storyline podcast this year, so I'm glad I'm in the family now.
You're in. I love it. Thanks, Elijah. Yeah. Thanks for the call, and good to hear from you. Obviously, the West Coast callers, you guys have to get up a little bit earlier. to call in, so I always appreciate that. We've had a couple already on this show, so no, that's not, people get up at different times. I mean, what's early to one is not necessarily early to others. Chris Beam will tell you that one, but you know, thank you for the call, and you're right about Minnesota. I mean, you're right. It's all about matchups. It's who they've played that's been tough for them, and also when you're playing with a young quarterback like J.J. McCarthy, he's not a rookie, but he pretty much is because this is his first year. You know, I mean, it's going to be ebbs and flows. He's going to have his good games. He's going to have ones where he struggled, and that's going to be the key. Can the Cowboys figure out ways to give him some problems up front? Because I would imagine just with any team, especially a young quarterback, how they go is how the team goes. So Cowboys are going to have to rattle him the best that they can. But if they don't, if they make him comfortable, and he gets into a rhythm early in the game, and that defense is able to play like they want to play, then yeah, it could be a tough game. Expect a lot of purple in the stands. I mean, it'll probably be like that. This is one of those destination type places for teams to go to. You know, if you're in Minnesota, you're like, let's go to Dallas on December the 14th. It's going to be a lot better than it is here, weather-wise, or it should be. But good place to go, good indoor stadium, fun place. Just like on Minnesota. Minnesota's one of the coolest stadiums that I've been to. They just the way they all chant together, and then the snow falling before kickoff, and it's just a cool stadium. It's got the downtown kind of skyline a little bit back there, and the Cowboys have never lost there, so you know that's always kind of a fun thing as well. All right, let's see. Do we have any other callers? Yeah, we do. Lewis, Langston, Oklahoma. Lewis, what's up?
What's going on?
How you doing?
Not bad, man. I didn't get the call last week. I was disappointed in the game, but I'm moving on like everybody else is. And I'm not the big stat guy like some of the other people are, but I watched a little bit of the game against Washington, and they played a lot of zone. And McCarthy, I mean, if you're going to play zone and you give the rookie time to throw the ball, I mean, he made him look real bad. Now, I know he didn't hit the big receivers and stuff like that, but he made it work with the tight ends. Mm-hmm. And so my biggest thing is listening to Eberflus's press conference and him telling, like, he changed the game plan up where he seems fit. And if it's not working, like, why not change it again? So I feel like when you watch a game like this on tape, and me as just a fan notice that McCarthy is killing them in the zone, why would you go into a game plan thinking, all right, the zone is going to work and not play man, or at least throw it in there every once in a while to see if you can shake things up? And I think sometimes, like, I'm not a big proponent of people losing their job or nothing like that, but I'm like, at some point you have to be accountable for what you see. And like I said, I'm not a coach. I'm a fan looking at it from the TV. But at some point, if you don't see it's working, why are you not changing it? Because I feel like we've seen him make in-game changes, and we've seen him make a change last week. But then it didn't work, and then it was like, oh, I'm not going to change again. Like, you make one change, and then you're done. And I think that's my biggest frustration is, like, I've seen him make changes in-game. Yeah. But, like, sometimes he makes in-game changes, and then he won't revert back to whatever is helping the team. And so I think that's where I come when it comes to frustration, and you want to play somebody like a rookie. Make it hard for him to throw the ball. Don't give him windows to throw it in, especially with right now the way that our zone is working. It hasn't been working. So I would really like for them to try to play a little bit of man. But like I said, I'm a fan. I can't really make no changes. I'm just talking.
All right. No, I mean, and that's fine. And you should be able to do that. And you know, there's a lot that goes into this. You know, I'm not going to sit here and defend, you know, the coordinators here and on, you know, in every facet of what's happening here. I think that the coaches need to be accountable. I think the players need to be accountable. You know, it doesn't, you practice for a reason, right? You know, and so you can't sit there and just make constant adjustments. I mean, what you're doing on defense is not a light switch. I mean, you're not just flipping it here and then turning it here and changing this and changing that. And there's reasons why you practice and you prepare a game plan for what it is. Now, you do have to adjust. There's no doubt about it. But, when that doesn't work, then flip to here and all that. The players have to be good enough to do that. They have to be. They have to be good enough to adjust. I think that the biggest key for any coach is to figure out a way to simplify it for your players and not simplify it for the opposing coordinator. That's because if you make it easy for the players to understand, I bet you that coordinator whose job all week long is to figure you out can get that done. So how do you make a complex defense from the opposition, from the coordinator, from the quarterback and all that, they're not really understanding what they're doing? And so when you talk about J.J. McCarthy and what's going to happen with the Vikings, are they going to play man? Are they going to play zone? They've got to figure out ways to confuse him one way or another. Give him looks that they haven't seen. That's what Minnesota's going to do, and Dak's been in the league 10 years. Dak expects that, understands Brian Flores' defense for Minnesota is going to give him a lot of disguised looks. And Dak, he should be able to figure it out, but it's not going to be easy. Well, do whatever you've got to do to make it look confusing for the rookie that, 10 years ago, he was probably, in junior high. So, and Dak was a rookie in the league. So, if it's confusing for a 10-year veteran, it should be that and then some for the first-year quarterback. All right, Zach in Atlanta. What's up, man?
What's up, Nick in Frisco? How you doing, dude?
I'm good. You?
I'm good, man. Ready for Sunday night. I was driving around Metro Atlanta this morning, just kind of chewing on, man, the 4 games in 18 days. I was pumped for it. Buckle up. Mm-hmm. Looking back and looking at every season, it's punishing, man. It's tough. And so, obviously the Thursday games, the Thanksgiving game is a tradition. I would do away with that 4th game, the Thursday after Thanksgiving.
Thursdays. The back-to-back.
That's
Thursdays.
tough, man. And they did us a dirty this week because we've got Sunday, and then Thursday, Christmas against the Commanders. So I mean, it's just I don't like it. I don't like more than like 2 Thursday games in a season. That's just me. And we've got 5, I think.
I don't think anyone's going to look at the schedule from the Cowboys when it comes out and it's traditional Thanksgiving. No one's going to look at the schedule and be like, what the hell? Why are we not on any other Thursday night? Like, nobody cares. No one cares about that. The only other Thursday night the Cowboys should ever be on, and if they ever won the Super Bowl, they get to host the Thursday night, before the season. I'll believe that when I see it. But I don't. This back-to-back Thanksgiving Thursday, that's brutal. That's
it is. The Lions have the same schedule. It's no excuse, but every season. Anyways, but I was chewing on that this morning, right? The 4 games, all that. I was like, man, can we do this? Can we run the table? And I looked in the right lane. I saw a fat blue star on the back of a Tundra. Couldn't see out the back rearview mirror, so that's his problem, but it wasn't mine. I said, yes, Cowboys by 100 on Sunday Night Football. Keep Jeep. Let's get it. See y'all later.
Love it. I love it how some guy driving down the street just inspires you. It's all about signs, right? Everyone's got a sign, and everything. You look for things and go, oh, okay, that's a sign. So now. That guy couldn't see out the back window, but it doesn't matter. He's thinking about this season. He's eyes forward. He's not worried about what's behind him. All right, let's go one more here before our break. Albert, Tucson, Arizona. What's up, Albert?
Hey, what's up, Nick? How are you, my brother?
Man, been a little bit.
Yeah, it's been a little bit. And it hasn't been for lack of trying. I just think, man, I want to give a shout out to a lot of, especially the guys that get in, but also the guys that don't get in because, on my phone I got 62 attempts to try to get in. So it's not for the lack of trying that we don't get in. And I just want to give those guys that don't get in a shout out.
I love it. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Keep on trying,
Yeah.
The thing I have, and I've always wondered, I want to get your opinion on this. I've always wondered why a coach, this game also is about momentum, right?
Yeah.
You see a team get momentum. And I get it. You want to kind of keep them. You want to have that game management thing in the pocket. But, sometimes when the floodgates open for a team, all it took was just that one play. How come coaches don't use a timeout to stop, you know what I mean? 'Cause like they do in basketball, like they do in other sports, to stop that momentum. I've always wondered that.
Well, I mean, timeouts are pretty valuable. And you're down 7 and or say you're down 10 points with 3 minutes to go and you need to kick a field goal to cut it to 7. Well, you want all your timeouts so you can stop them and get the ball back and all that. You don't have that. That's 40 seconds, and that could be really critical. So, stopping momentum, I don't know. I mean, it's different. It's different in basketball. I hadn't really thought of that way for football. Usually when you call a timeout, you don't bring 11 guys over there. So you could. I'm not saying it's bad. I just know it's the value of the timeout that's so important. In basketball, they have like 17 timeouts. So a little different, but not a bad thought.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. Just because I've always wondered, we can still stop the clock by spiking it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or certain ways to stop the clock.
Yeah.
But, anyway, so I got a prediction for my boys. We're going to rebound from this tough loss. We're winning 38-14. And God bless you. God bless the producer extraordinaire in the back. And keep on doing what you're doing and go Cowboys.
All right. Love it. Producer extraordinaire, Chris Bean. Put that on a business card. Love it. You know what? While we're doing shout-outs, I'm going to shout out some to my family. I know that I talk about all the time. My mom, she listens every day with her husband, Rob, and my dad listens every day as well. But you know what? My brother, Evan, he listens every day also, and he's become a really big Cowboy fan. He went to the game against the Chiefs and had to talk to him on the phone. He was kind of getting a little mouthy, I think, in the parking lot and talking about Mahomes and all that. I was like, hey, be careful, man. Be careful walking to the car. But he was feeling it. He had a good time, and he listens to this show all the time, and he'll critique me on it and send me some messages as well. So I want to give a shout out to him. I know he listens every day. So shout out to my older brother, Evan. Let's go to break real quick on Cowboy Storyline. Be right back after this.
Cowboys fans, when it comes to navigating the ever-changing world of tax, your business needs a partner it can trust to tackle even your biggest tax challenges. Ryan is the largest firm in the world dedicated exclusively to business taxes. Our team of tax professionals has local expertise in all areas of tax and can help you uncover savings opportunities you didn't know you had. Learn more about how Ryan can improve your overall corporate tax performance by visiting Ryan.com. Ryan, the official tax partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Crown Royal and the Dallas Cowboys are bringing back the Royal Rig for Season 2. See it in action at AT&T Stadium on Thanksgiving Day, where the Dallas Cowboys take on the Kansas City Chiefs, and around Dallas on November 26th and November 28th. Visit crownroyal.com to see where else the Royal Rig is stopping this NFL season. That's crownroyal.com. Please drink responsibly.
Altec Lansing has been perfecting sound since 1927, bringing you decades of audio excellence to elevate your Dallas Cowboys tailgate ritual. Equip your next pregame with the Sound Rover 180 with 6 hours of playtime, built-in microphone, multicolor light modes, and a rugged exterior that's built to last. Visit alteclansing.com/Cowboys15 for 15% off your Sound Rover 180. That's alteclansing.com/Cowboys15 for 15% off. Altec Lansing, official audio partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Back to Cowboys Storyline, presented by Gillette, the official shave of the Dallas Cowboys.
The 2026 NFL Pro Bowl vote is open. The roster is up to youth now through December 15th. Cast your ballots and your favorite Cowboys to the Pro Bowl games in San Francisco. Don't wait. Go to probowl.com/vote. All right, we had talked a couple of days ago. I thought we had an interesting conversation about what this season would be like if they don't make the playoffs. Is it a failure? Is it not? I think Dylan in Northport, Florida, talked a little bit about it. It started about Shoddy, and is Shoddy could he be, have a successful first season if they don't make it? Rob from Vegas chimed in, said it's not a failure. It is a failure because the goal is to make the playoffs. Blamed Jerry a little bit. Kind of, I thought, changed the narrative a little bit, but that's okay. Interesting enough, yesterday in the locker room, or just outside the locker room, there's one reporter that was obviously doing that story, and so he asked the question to Dak and CeeDee about, could this season be a fail? Is it a failure if you don't make the playoffs? Interesting answers here, and Chris has got them both. Is Dak first? Dak, I think
actually CeeDee's
first. Okay, because that's fine. He was asked first. I thought CeeDee had a really good answer to this. Dak's more like, don't ask me this right now, but it's funny. So here are they. The question is, and you might hear the question on there: can this season be a success if they don't make the playoffs? We'll see what.
Can this be a successful season if y'all don't make the playoffs?
Yeah, it can, because, as far, okay, so, like, being a successful season, man, you get better. I feel like for us as a team, we've gotten better. We've learned. We've gotten over a hump in this building, and we all know what it is. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like us as a group, we gel together. We've gotten better. We build great bonds, and we set ourselves up for the future. And even if that doesn't count this out, but if we don't make it, that's cool. We know for sure, like, we know what we got. We know what we're dealing with in the future. And when we do make it, them boys know what's going to happen in them P's. So just getting ourselves together, continuing to build this brotherhood, fight for each other, fight for one another, fight for our families, and let's play the game that we love together and enjoy it.
Can this be a successful season if you don't make the playoffs?
Talk about that if that happens, when it happens.
All right. Obviously, Dak's down to business. CeeDee, he had a concussion a week ago. Just throwing that out there. I mean, that was Thursday, and it was the previous Thursday. And I know this: if I had a concussion, I'm not giving an answer probably like that. I thought, and he wasn't prepared for it. I mean, I thought it was a pretty good answer. It's about getting better, getting better. And the question kind of was this a good hire? I mean, that's what people are asking. Look at some of the other first-year coaches, and look at Shoddy. Is he done a good job? And so far, I think he's done a pretty good job. Still, the jury's out. This game's huge for me. This game's very, very important. You guys know what we do. I mean, you guys know that we're sitting here every single day. We do this show. And I have to listen to you guys. Get to listen, get to talk, get to chat about what's going on. The fact that you guys are calling in talking about what the Vikings are doing and how much they blitz and how, their defense does this and what McCarthy does against his own, that's what we want. That's what I want. Don't win this game. Is that going to be the case for the Chargers? Is that going to be the case on Christmas Day? All that kind of stuff. So I think if they can win this game, that'll probably keep them in it, at least for the next couple weeks. I mean, and that's all we really want here. So that's why I think that this it's not going to be easy, but this is a real important game for me because you don't want to answer all these big picture questions. Dak didn't want to answer it. CeeDee, I thought, did a good job with it. But, everyone has their own opinion of what success is, honestly. And so therefore, you're always going to get kind of different answers. All right, Lester in Minnesota. Sorry for holding. Lester, what's up, man?
Good morning, Nick.
I don't talk about weather. Hold on now. I don't talk about weather usually, but from what I understand, that it's gonna be like 25 degrees in Dallas. That's gonna be like Shangri-La compared to what's going on in Minnesota, right?
Yeah, 20 below wind chill tomorrow. So the air temperature will feel like it's 20 below. It's gonna be like 1 or -1 as far as temperature wise, but it's just like the heat index, they say heat index feels like 100 or whatever. Wind chill is the opposite. So It's going to feel like 20 below tomorrow, man.
Wow. That's nasty. All right, man. What do you got?
I concur with CeeDee. Excellent answer, CeeDee, because it's a building. You build. I mean, nothing is built in one day. I mean, on any job, if your first year on any job, you're not going to have all the answers and whatever. You learn and you build. So I concur with that. It's just getting better.
Yep.
I just called in today with my scores, but I want to just make a comment on a couple of other callers that called in. As far as the caller that called about the timeouts, you can use your timeouts in the first half. I mean, that's not the end of the game to stop momentum. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes we should use our timeouts, and then what are we saving them for in the first half? There's nothing to be saved. They don't roll over to the second half. So if someone is doing a hurry-up offense or whatever, or the momentum is going, timeout.
I could see that.
Stop it.
I could see that in the first half, especially when you know that they've got the ball and they're driving for, slow it down. Now, sometimes that might help the offense too, but I'm fine with that. If you have an answer, if you have something to say, like if you just want to give the offense more time to help too, that's one of the reasons why I don't think that the defense does it.
Well, I'm just saying, even if you're on defense, you could see if your guys are winded, especially the linemen. Hey, time out. Let's get them. Let's change them out. Let's get them some air or whatever. The other thing I wanted to make a comment on was someone was saying something about. I already said that with CeeDee. I was going to comment on that, but CeeDee, when CeeDee answered that was my comment. So my score will be 29-20.
Ooh, 29-20. Okay.
Go Cowboys.
I don't have one for that. 29-20. I like that. I didn't have one for 28-20 either. I haven't been doing that good with those scores. It's hard to just come up with a random game based off a score, but 29, I can't even remember that many games that have 29 in it. All right, let's go. Irwin, Colorado.
Good morning, Nick. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. So I got a couple questions for you, more of a statement, if I will, but I don't want by any means anybody thinking that I'm looking towards next season or anything like that and, brushing off the last 4 games that we have. I really hope that the Cowboys are able to, win the last 4 games and get themselves in position to possibly get in the playoffs. It depends what other teams are doing, I suppose. Mm-hmm. But I wanted to get your thoughts on 2 players in this upcoming draft. Like, I really don't want to talk too much about the upcoming draft because we got these 4 games still that we can still get into the playoffs possibly. But I really, really think the Cowboys could do themselves a great deal of get themselves a great deal of help with Rodriguez from Texas Tech, and really good linebacker, and then of course not in this order, but Downs from Ohio State, just to kind of build that middle. I know it would take a lot to possibly get Downs move up in the draft, but I think if they play their cards right, they might be able to maneuver around and get those 2 types of impact players to really help the defense out. And I just wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah. I thanks for the call, Erwin. And I think both things can be true here. You're not giving up on your team by doing that, by looking into next year. I talk about that a lot. Like, I like the focus to stay here, obviously, because there's so many things when you talk about draft. There's so many things you don't even know. We don't even know certain players that have declared for draft. You don't know what order you're in. You don't know what players in free agency are leaving and who you signed and all that kind of stuff. That's why it's kind of hard to figure that out. But it's also, knowing that this is it. This is your life. This is our life. This is what we do. And so this may not work out, but when get yourself excited about when it can get better. And so I don't think there's anything really wrong with that. Just knowing that it's kind of hard to determine who's available and what you're going to need and all that. But I'm about those defensive players that have the ball. No, those defensive players that have the ball in their hands. I mean, that means that they're catalytic players. I'm fine with that. I think the Cowboys are going to need some of that on defensive ends, maybe safeties, linebackers, and on offense. I think I could see a running back being drafted here, even if you do re-sign Javonte. I think that there's a running back needed, and probably maybe an offensive tackle too. Who knows at wide receiver? I mean, I would imagine they're going to re-sign Pickens, but maybe they don't. I would think that they will, though. I would think that they will. But there's a lot of ways you can go. This team's if they do make the playoffs, they're going to be very fortunate, and they're still going to have holes one way or another. So you might just want to stand in there and pick, and don't have to trade up or anything. You may trade back a little bit, but whoever you get that falls to you, you're probably going to need because this team has that many holes. All right, let's go. Let's go to Rob in Vegas.
Hey, Nick.
What's up?
So that CD comment, that's typical wide receiver talk. That's the difference between a wide receiver and a quarterback. A wide receiver they're judged on their stats. That's all they're judged on. Where a quarterback is judged on championships. That was ridiculous what he said. He talked nothing. Brotherhood and this, and it's meaningless stuff.
It's meaningless for a guy in Las Vegas who's not in the locker room. But if a guy is in the locker room and does be on the same buses and planes with these guys, maybe brotherhood's a little bit more important. But for a guy that's not in there,
that's invisible stuff. Just like when they talk about Dak and they say, a lot of people say the first thing is he's a great leader. That's invisible. That shouldn't be the first thing to describe Dak. I said this the other day that's like my friend setting me up on a blind date. And when I ask him to describe the girl, the first thing he says is she has a great personality. No, that's not what I want to hear. Dak is more than a leader. Dak could throw the ball.
Okay.
Dak could read defenses. But you notice Dak didn't give an answer because he knows that if they don't win out and they don't get to the place, the season isn't successful because for a quarterback, that's what they're judged on. And that's why you see CD sitting on the sideline pouting and, and you don't see Dak doing that. That's why the quarterback gets paid. That's why the quarterback is the leader of the team. No coach wants to hear their players being satisfied. When did we lower the bar for the Dallas Cowboys this much? That's the only thing that bothers me.
It has.
I mean, that we've lowered the bar. Jerry lowered the bar. We used to talk Super Bowls. Now we're happy winning 7-8 games. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And another thing is, everybody keeps talking about carrying over this. Well, how come we didn't carry over? We went 12-5 3 years in a row, and we've been bad since. It doesn't. Nothing carries over because the players change so much. Injuries you just can't foresee. So you're not guaranteed anything next year. So I don't believe in momentum. It's hard to carry momentum from game to game, let alone the following year. So, no, that's why every year is important. You got to go for it. I didn't like what he said, but like I said, I expect that from CD. I expect that from most wide receivers because they're not judged on Super Bowls. They're judged on stats.
Yeah, well, all right. Thanks for the call. I loved what CD said, and I think I think it'd be great to have, if I was on a blind date with someone with a great personality, actually. So you know what? It's ironic that you're talking about how we're judging players and judging people with that comment. But hey, everybody's different. I thought what CD said was great on the fly for that question, and lowering the bar. I don't think anybody's lowered the bar. I don't believe that. I think you are. It is what it is, and you have to deal with the moment. No one's sitting here in training camp going, "Man, I just hope we have a winning record." No one says that. Everyone knows what the goal is. Everyone knows what they're trying to do, and everyone's fighting right now to try to get there. If it doesn't happen, I don't think it's looked upon as failure as far as the team. The team. Now, goal-wise, you fall short of your goals. But I guess when I say that about failure, I'm thinking of ripping it up and just, all right, we got totally try something different because this didn't work. So now let's look at this guy, and it doesn't work that way, obviously, because of contracts in the NFL and all that. So you don't really look at it. And I do think you can build momentum. I think what you're doing is building a team, building camaraderie, building the ways to win games. And I've seen it happen. I've seen some success carry over, and I think that it does happen. But Rob's right when in the fact that there's turnover. There's certainly a lot of turnover there. So all right, we need let's go to Chris in Saratoga Springs.
Hey Nick, how's it going?
Good.
I love what CeeDee said. To be honest with you, for me, success. The main word for me is growth. Have we grown as a team? Has Shotty grown as a coach? Have we grown our young players? And I think we have definitely grown. I obviously want to make the playoffs. Slim chance we do. But, I always want to hang out the hope that we do make it. But really, it's about growing as a team. And I think if you're looking at growth, we definitely have grown. And I think the next couple of weeks, we could grow even more. And I like where we're going. I like our draft picks next year. I'm looking forward to that, as usual, because I'm the big draft guy. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. I agree with you 100%. If we don't make it, did we make our goals of making the playoffs? No. But again, big word again is growth for me. Other than that, I hope you guys have a great weekend. Chris Beam in the back, always working like a dog. Much appreciated what he does behind the scenes. Just wanted to give him a quick shout out.
For sure. All right. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate that. Let's go to a break here on Cowboys Storyline and be right back.
All right, Cowboys fans, this one's for you. Gillette's Best Shave has a new look this season, and they've got one that sticked out in Cowboys colors just for us. We're going to want to run, not walk to this one, y'all. The new Gillette Labs official Dallas Cowboys licensed razor isn't just Gillette's best shave. With 50% longer lasting blades than Fusion, it's the best a Cowboys fan can get. Get it while you can at Gillette.com/NFL. Gillette's Best Shave is also available as heated.
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
Back to Cowboys Storyline, presented by Gillette, the official shave of the Dallas Cowboys.
All right, welcome back to Cowboys Storyline, presented by Gillette. Got a few more minutes here. Of course, I'm not going anywhere. And if you're listening to this live, I'm actually going to stay here. I'm going to be on Cowboys break with Derek and Vach here in a few minutes. There's a couple of them are out. And so I'll be filling in on Cowboys break like old times. All right, I'm in Napa, California. What's up?
Hey, what's up, Nick? How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm great, man. I'm great. Thanks for taking my call. Wanted to talk a little Cowboys, obviously. Man, as far as like the season and what CeeDee said and stuff, I mean, man, I know that there's turnover from year to year, but if you're building on, what's happening this year and you're going to be here, certain guys are the core of the team's going to be here next year, there's nothing wrong with him saying, again, building for next year or anything like that. Again, it's year to year. Man, I think still in it. Obviously, you see what happened last night. There's 4 games still left, so who knows what'll happen. A lot of things will happen with other teams. So, everyone thought Tampa was going to win last night, and you saw what happened to them. So, the season's been fun. going in, trading your best player right before the week starts, and then to, not being able to stop anybody when it counted the most, or just even throughout the game, to now feels like, you got a chance in every game. It's like, man, it's been fun. It's been fun, and I guess because I had the least amount of expectation this year, starting week one, it's probably been the least stressful and the most fun. I think, like you were saying earlier, McCarthy's a young quarterback. You got to mix it up and blitz it with him in and out. No matter if you blitz him or not, you got to keep a spy on him. If the guy's going to run, whenever he has a chance, he's quick to pull it down and run. So keep a spy on him.
All right.
Man, I feel good about it. Cowboys keep on scoring just like they do every week. Expect them to put up 30. So 30-24.
All right. Thank you, Jaime. Thanks for the call. Let's go one more real quick. Randy in Texarkana.
Well, hello. I tried to do my Mrs. Doubtfire. That didn't work out too well. Hello. Have to make it quick, I guess. It's hard to call in and have something new without sounding really repetitive over, all the same topics. So, tell me, let's see, I'll come up with two good ones here. Tell me what's the real reason why Blue fell off the face of the earth. Is it an upstairs thing, like he can't get it up there, or what's really going on with him because they made him out to be a possible starter in training camp? And then number 99, Perryman, in training camp, they made him out to be a monster. What's going on with him? And with that, I'll let y'all go and have a good Friday.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, guys.
All right. I appreciate it, Randy. Now, I don't know who they is. I mean, because your they could be anybody. Twitter loves Perry and Winfrey. They just do. I don't know why. I don't know what he's done in the past to kind of get. I mean, but there's excitement there, and it was evident a couple of weeks ago. I mean, the Cowboys traded for Quinnen Williams. He's tearing it up. They've won 2-3 in a row now. Osa's playing the best he's played. Kenny Clark's doing his thing, and yet it's like, when's Winfrey coming back? And I'm just like, I didn't get it. I still don't understand it. I don't know if the coaches do either. But there's some excitement there. I don't know if it's just. Shoddy loves him. But right now, I mean, it's kind of tough. He's got some pretty good guys ahead of him there. We'll see, if he get in there. And then as far as Jaden Blue goes, I mean, it's just, guys, it's a 5th round draft pick that wasn't even starting on his team. I mean, he was a kind of not a gadget player, but a kind of a specialty type guy with a lot of speed. But to be an NFL running back, I mean, it takes more than that. And maybe he was overrated, but I tell you who was underrated was Javonte Williams. I mean, at training camp, it was like, is it Miles Sanders? Is it Javonte Williams? Is Jaden Blue going to come in? What about Maffa? And we would have known what Javonte Williams was going to do and bring, then I don't think it would have ever been a question. So, Javonte, I think those guys were getting talked up because maybe they have to be the starter. But Javonte has been head and shoulders better than anyone. Malik Davis has come in here and he's – you just give you more value, special teams and all the things that you have to do there. And so, and then when it comes to running the football, I mean, Malik's done a good job. So as far as Jaden Blue goes, kind of like in college, there's just better options right now, just better options than what we've seen. It's more than just running full speed because speed-wise, yeah, Jaden Blue is really good, but some of the other things involved, and I don't know what the practice habits are. I don't know what his meetings look like. I don't know if he's trying, how much he's trying to get better. I don't know all that. I just know that there are better options, and the Cowboys are going that way. One more point, kind of about the CeeDee quote that we played, and Rob's, take on it, and it doesn't matter what your take is on it. Just remember this. That attitude of, yes, we can continue to get better. Even if we don't make the playoffs, we're going to continue to grow and all that. You want that. You say you don't want to hear it, but you want to see it. And my point to that is there's 4 games left. Maybe they make the playoffs, maybe they don't. But I can promise you this, they're going to go out there and compete. You're going to watch, regardless of what the situation is, you're going to watch, and you want them to give their best effort. There was a guy on this team last year that when they were out of it, he decided he was out and never played again. And so, you know what? Because for what? I mean, we're out of it. So what am I going to fight for? You got CeeDee Lamb, his shoulder's falling off, and he's over here fighting till the end. So that mentality of these are the things we can do to get better, they're not saying that this is the new standard. They're saying, all right, based off the situation we're in, how do we make the positive, make it a positive situation the best we can? Let's go out. Let's try to win these games, and let's try to, for these reasons alone. Sure, they want to make it to the playoffs, but they're going to keep fighting, and they're getting paid very, very well to go out there and play this game, regardless if they're in the playoffs or out of it. Deep down, as a fan, I think you want that, because Lord knows if they didn't do it that way, you would kill them for other reasons. And like, oh, now that they're out of it, now that they give up. No, they're not Notre Dame. They're going to fight all the way to the end here. All right, great show, great week. Let's see what happens on Monday. It's going to be a different schedule. We don't have a Tuesday show next week, so we'll be here Monday to talk about Cowboys and Vikings. Stay warm, everyone, wherever you are out there. For Chris Beam, I'm Nick Eatman. We will see you next time on Cowboy Storyline.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?